Peace. So earlier on my Facebook page, I posted today marks 21 years since I knowledge 120. So some people probably looked at that shit and was like, what the hell he talking about knowledge in 120? So I just wanted to take a moment and just clarify that for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. When I say knowledge 120, I'm talking about knowing 120 lessons. So a part of my culture consists of knowing 120 lessons, which gives me the basis of our cultural worldview. And let me show you what these lessons actually look like. Check this out. Okay. These are the 1 to 10s, which is considered the student enrollment. So these are the first lessons that a person would learn. These are the 1 to 14s. These are the 1 to 36. Now, when I say knowledge 120, I'm talking about I know all of these 100% by heart and can recite them 100% by heart. So if somebody would have just asked me who also knew these lessons, well, what does this lesson say? I should be able to tell them 100% by heart and give them a historical, esoteric, and pragmatic perspective of what that lesson actually means. These are the 1 to 40s. Let me go back. These are the 1 to 40s. So these are 40 different lessons that we learn. To recite and know 100% by heart. These are our actual facts, which teach us about the dimensions of the planet. And these are our solar facts, which teach us about the distances of the planets from the sun. So in all of these lessons, for example, Mount Everest is 29,141 feet high. We learn that the place of the devil is manufactured. The place. What the heck is that? Sound like a dang bomb. Did y'all hear that? I don't know what these people doing outside, but shit sounded like a damn bomb. But anyway, we learn these lessons and are able to recite them 100% by heart. So when I met my enlightener, I went through study of these lessons and I concluded that study on September 30th, 1995. And once I concluded my study of these lessons, my enlightener, my educator tested me. He asked me questions about this lesson, about that lesson. What does it mean to me, or what does this mean, or so that concluded my study. And from that point forward, I've been living this culture. So what's really significant to me is that I've been living this culture longer than I have not been living this culture. And that was really important to me because when I first learned this, I was 20 years old. 20 years old. I'm 41 years old right now, which means I've been living this for 21 years longer than I have not been living this. So all of the contributions, all the accomplishments, all of the things that I've done, all of the different people who I've met, all of my experiences, my growth and development is directly linked to my growth and development and learning these lessons and this science of everything in life. And I can never minimize that. Never minimize that. If I was to meet somebody in Hawaii or Alaska or Florida or California or whatever who also said that they were a 5%er and that they knew these lessons, there's a certain procedure or protocol that we go through in order to vet each other or to see where each other is. Now, if a person I met, they said their name was sincere or whatever, and I asked them, okay, well, how long have you had knowledge of self? What I'm actually asking them is, how long have you been studying this? If they say, well, since 2000. Okay. So they were introduced to this culture or these lessons in 2000. The next question that I would ask them is, what lessons do you know? What lessons do you knowledge? Now, if they were to tell me that they first start studying in the year 2000, right? And all they know is this, the student enrollment, they just know 10 lessons in 16 years. That gives me a sense of not only their commitment and their level of responsibility, but it also lets me know, like, well, what's going on? I'm going to have some questions. Like, why would you, you know what I'm saying? I didn't take no damn 16 years to know all of this. I walked with my enlightener in a year and I learned all of these lessons. And that was because I was in college at the time, and during school breaks, I would go home. My enlightener wouldn't give me lessons to take home with me and then bring them back when I would connect with him again when I'm back in college on campus. He would tell me, study what you have while you're at home. And that would oftentimes be a 3 month break or a break over the summertime. And I would come back and pick up where I left off. So I learned over a period of time. So there should be no reason why a person is stuck on a certain lesson, learning something for years. It says that there's something going on. You know what I'm saying? Now, if a person, were to ask me, like I'm telling you right now, like, okay, you saying you know your lessons or whatever, if they know their lessons, they can quiz me. So they can sit there and say, well, what's the 30th lesson? Because today is the 30th. What's the 30th lesson in the 1 to 40s? I should be able to recite right off the bat. Tell us what and how the devil was made. That was made from the original people by grafting and separating the germs. Black man's body, there exists two germs, a black germ and a brown germ. Yakub was law on birth control. I should be able to go right through that lesson and give them a historical, esoteric, and pragmatic perspective of what that actually means, because that's what I said I'm about. Now, if I'm sitting here talking about, yeah, I know these lessons, and somebody coming up to me and they ask me the lessons and then I don't know them, I'm a fraud. I'm a five pretender or a jive percenter. You know what I'm saying? So those of y'all that have been checking out my YouTube channel for a while, a lot of the things that I talk about is from the cultural perspective of the 5%. I have no other choice. This is the way in which I live. Um, but I also encourage you to go to my blog, check out the free bi-monthly articles that I write, where I share other different perspectives that I don't elaborate on in these videos to give you other insight. Like, for example, I had shared a video recently elaborating on a chapter in one of my books that I published recently in July called Eyes Wide Shut, The Science of Secret Societies. Even though I did a video on the science of secret societies, maybe a few of them, I actually wrote an article about one of my chapters, chapter 11, where I build about, you know, um, black Shriners and Masons and the historical relationship with white Shriners and Masons here in America. And that's something that I didn't speak on in one of my videos, but I have that as an article. So I encourage you to go over and check that out. Just go to Google and put in Atlantis build, and the first website that comes up will be Atlantis build or be a law school in Atlantis, and that would take you to my website where you can read my bi-monthly articles. I also have my books on my right sidebar. I have my music there. I have my radio show, Atlantis Build Talk Radio, and if you wanted to go directly to that, just go to soundcloud.com/Atlantis Build, and you can check out my interviews and my episodes where I also elaborate on these lessons. And like I said, today's a significant moment to me because I can I can say like, yo, I've been living this longer than I haven't been living it. You know what I'm saying? And all of the things that I've experienced is a direct result of this culture. A direct result of this culture. And I give the utmost respect from my brothers in my family tree, all of my other universal family that I've met along the path, who have encouraged me, who have supported me, who have given me insight into a lot of different things in order to help me be positive representation about what this culture actually is. Because oftentimes you may see people who claim that they're 5%ers and all this other stuff, and they're not righteous and civilized representations of what this actually is. And it turns a lot of people off when they see that. It turns a lot of people off. And, I will that what I do and what I represent is something that people can look at and say, that is what a 5%er is. That is the best of what we have to offer in terms of this God worldview. So I will. This was inspiring, empowering. It was educating, and gave those of you a little bit of insight into not only that Facebook post, but just what 120 lessons actually is. And then also to encourage those of you who have come in contact with it, who've studied a little bit, who've been stuck on lessons for a while, to finish it. It's only going to be a benefit to you. And I also understand that there is a great deal of responsibility with learning these lessons because it is a heuristic type of perspective, meaning it's based upon your own study. You are responsible for this. And being responsible for this comes a lot of influence because now the people who are in your cipher don't have access to this information. And you're accountable to them. You're accountable to them. And it's easy oftentimes to not be responsible for certain things or to play the blame somebody else game. But this is a way of life that is based upon the critical thinking where you take full responsibility for being self-determined. So with that said, I want to thank all of y'all who've been always supporting me over the years, encouraging me for over the years, as well as giving me a critical analysis of things that you think that I can do better in order to better serve the people. So, peace.